All right, student. Note 6.2, our learning objective is going to be use proportions to solve geometry problems. We have a couple of vocabulary terms that we're going to review first. The first one is scale drawing. And a scale drawing is a drawing that is the same shape as the object it represents. Scale is the next vocab word, scale, and that is a ratio that describes how the dimensions in the drawing are related to the actual dimensions of the object. Okay, so here there are 3 additional properties of proportions. In our last notes, we were introduced to one of the 4 properties of proportions, and that first one was cross products. Here's 3 more. One of them has a special name, it's the reciprocal property, and the other 2, they do not have special names. This one right here, reciprocal means flip. So you can write the word flip here, and that will help you remember what's happening here. If you look at this first one, A and B, and then focus over here, what happened was we flipped it. It's been, the numerator and the denominator have been exchanged. Numerator and denominator exchanges. The denominator becomes the numerator, and the numerator becomes the denominator. Okay, well, that's not the only one. If you look at this one here, the C and the D, those also are exchanged. So both of them, the numerator and the denominator, are switched. In this one, if you look here, it says if A over B is equal to C over D, then A over C is equal to B over D. Look and see what has changed and what has not. The A and the D are in the same location, but this one here, these 2 right here, have been exchanged. So I call this one the exchange. They exchange the means here. This next one, it's a brand new pattern, so I just refer this one to the new pattern. Okay, and it says here, if A over B is equal to C over D, then what you do is you take your A and your B, your numerator and your denominator, you could add them together and write it over the original denominator, and it will equal this one, the numerator and the denominator added together over the original denominator. Okay. Alright, in this next one here, I'm going to choose to use some color just to kind of get you familiar with what's going on. Now, normally when you see this, you're going to think, oh, it's an overlapping triangle, and I want to separate the 2 triangles. So I'm going to just jot that over here to the side real quick to show you why you don't want to do that. You've got your small one and your large one, and you know that this side's 12, you know this side's 18, you know this is B, E, and D. Here we've got, this is B also, but this is A, and this is C, and this little piece of it is 6, and this is 18, so together that makes 24, and I don't know what this is, and I don't know what this is, but they want me to find BA, which is here, this whole thing here, and they want me to find BD. BD, which is this little guy here, which is this little guy right here. So they're overlapping, and I don't know enough information to be able to find these out, and that 3 is pretty significant information. So here's what I do instead. Okay, so here in the diagram, I know that BD, according to this up here, BD in pink, BD here, and I'm not referring to this over here, so I probably should have chosen different colors. But BD, which is from here to here, and I'm going to choose blue for DA, which is this guy right here, and then EC, which is this guy over here, EC, and then let's see here, like yellow for BE. Okay, so here I'm going to set this up as a ratio. I'm going to put BD over the information from BD, I don't know what it is, over DA, but I do know DA, that's going to be 3, equals the information from BE, which is 18, over EC, which is 6. And I'm just going to color code these so that we remember where they came from. So this is your pink, this is your yellow, this is your green, and this is your blue. Alright. Now, I just cross multiply. I'm going to choose to change that to an x. So that's going to be x over 3 equals 18 over 6, just to make cross multiplying a little bit easier. Cross multiply, I get 6x equals 3 times 18. When I plug that into my calculator, I know that 6x equals 54. When I divide both sides by 6, I get x equals 9. And so my x, which is representing BD in pink, so BD is equal to 9. And then I know that BA, if BD is 9, I know BA is going to be 9 plus 3, so BA is going to equal 12. And then, let's see here, BD, BD is what I wanted first, that's in green, so I'm going to shade this in green to show you that I found this one. Okay, BD, that's the original green right here. And then my pink, well, this is pink and blue, so it's this whole side over here. So anyway, there's my two answers, so that's not going to work. The color isn't going to work on this one for the final answer. Okay, so there's my two answers, BD and BA. Alright, next page I have is a few more examples to do. You'll see these on your homework. Alright, so here on a map, two cities are 2.4 inches apart. The straight line distance between the two cities, and we know that cities are not really straight lines apart, but the straight line distance between the two cities is 36 miles. What is the scale of the map? Okay, so to do this, I'm going to put actual information over the drawing, and so that's how I'm going to organize it. So that means that the actual information would be the actual distance between the two cities, the 36 miles, MI, for miles, over the drawing, and it says drawing is inches, 2.4 inches. Now, when I plug this into my calculator, I'm going to put 36 divided by 24. So go ahead and do that. And you're going to get a decimal. So here, you see 36 divided by 2.4. So here it turns out to be 15. So that means that I can divide that by 2.4 and that by 2.4, and it equals 15 miles over 1 inch. Okay, now, a scale ratio, we want the denominator to be 1. So this is going to be 15 miles to 1 inch, 15 miles colon 1 inch, or we can put 15 miles over 1 inch. But usually what we see and how we use it in everyday life is 15 miles per inch. Okay, so those are the 3 ways to write the ratio, and that's usually how we see it in real life. Okay, the next one. On the next example, here, I'm going to go ahead and separate these, and you're going to see that here's the large one. This is going to be G, H, and J, and then here's the small one. This is going to be K, L, and J. And label what you know. I know that this entire side here is going to be 20. I know that this entire side over here is going to be X. I know that, if focus on the little triangle now, I know this entire side is 15. I know this entire side down here is 12. And then look here. This whole thing is X, but this much of it is 2. So how much is this piece right here? Well, X take away 2 would give me the leftovers. X minus 2. Okay, so when you set this up, I'm going to put 20 over 15 is going to equal X over X minus 2. Cross multiply, I get 15X equals 20 times X minus 2. Now distribute. 15X equals 20X minus 40. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 20X and get a negative on the left-hand side because I already have a negative over here. So that's going to be negative 5X equaling negative 40. Divide both sides by negative 5, and you get X equals a positive 8. Now remember, 8's not necessarily what you want. You got to look back up here at the top and say, how do I need to answer my question? They want me to find JH and JL. JH is the same as X, so JH would be 8. Now JL, on the other hand, JL is going to be X minus 2, so that's going to be 8 minus 2, which is 6. So there's my final answers. Right, next one, I want you to do this one by yourself, and it's going to be just like this one, except where it doesn't have a picture. So remember, I want you to write 3 ratios, and then write what it's going to be like in real life. Go ahead and use a diagram just like this in order to solve this one. Okay, this one over here, take a look. What does it look like? It says complete the statement. That means find the question marks. If X over 6 equals Y over 15, then add the 2 together, the numerator and denominator, X plus 6 over 6 is going to equal, you have to do the same pattern. That's going to be Y plus 15 over 15. Okay. Remember, that's that new pattern on the other page. Okay, here, decide whether the statement is true or false. So it doesn't have anything missing. We just need to look at it and see if it's true or false. So let's try to figure out what they're doing. Here I've got 5 over 7 equaling A over B. And then over here I've got 7 over 5. So this looks like it should be flipped. But did they flip the second one? And remember that on our property we were told, the reciprocal property, that if we flip the first one we have to flip the second one. So this one, if they had put B over A, then it would be true. But since they don't have that, this is false. Okay. Now, this one is another way of looking at trying to find the missing sides. They give you the ratio. You want to find BA, which is right here. Okay, CB over BA. So CB is 6 over BA. I don't know what it is. It's going to be DE, which is 4, over EF, which is 7. Cross multiply. I'm going to get 4 times BA equals 6 times 7. Well, 4 times BA, that's 42. And then divide both sides by 4, I get BA is equal to 10.5. And it's okay to have a decimal here because it's talking about the length of the side. It is 10.5. Okay, folks, don't forget, I want you to do number 4 to check your understanding and make sure that you know what you're doing. Make sure you bring that one with you to class when you come to school next time. And that's it for note 6.2.